This conference will now be recorded.
All the time. Thank you very much for being with me from Yellow Belt to this saga of green and black belt. Today we will be discussing about ANOVA, which was the very essential point in the black belt, and we will also be discussing about what is known as design of experiments. I have brought several examples for you to explain you what is meant by design of experiments. Quality control charts we are not going to discuss. Why? Because we have discussed in depth in yellow belt. Okay, so again there is no need to. Now shall I? We'll go ahead with. Yeah, is it? Are you able to see my PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go ahead with that. Yeah, final lecture. Now, we should know what is known as in one of the phases, one of the tools is known as benchmarking. We have not
Yes.
covered this actually. Yeah,
Can you just start the slideshow?
okay.
Not yet.
Now it's okay.
Sir, you can present it in slideshow, sir, if there is no problem.
Understood. I am very little bit
Uh,
not smart like you people. Okay. Yeah. Now I hope all of you can see. Benchmarking is one of the tool in Six Sigma. Now, how to define benchmarking? Very simple English is where you are and where you want to go. That's what I want to put it. Okay. Benchmarking means where you are, means existing position. Where you want to go means what height you want to reach. Question, why you want to reach? Because you want to survive. Now why? Because your competitors are there. Not only that, you want to reach to the customer with good products and you want to win the heart of the customer, then benchmarking is very essential. Now there are many cases are there in which you may have the machines of A company and yours is a, let us say, B company. Ditto, the layout is same, the material flow is same, the lighting, ventilation, everything is same. Labors are also same, but you are getting 70% yield and your company A, your competitor is getting 75. So you need to find out what is the difference, why you are not able to get. So such type of an activity, an exercise is known as benchmarking. Okay. I'll be sharing my PPT. Normally I don't read whatever it is there in the PPT because I am a blackboard teaching teacher. So I normally have the class with my extempore. Now there are different types of benchmarkings are there. Here we call them as industry leaders. Now, who are those leaders? How they have established the uh, indelible mark in the market? Today, also, there are some products we are recognizing the company only. Their company are very good. Some 30 years back, we used to get one pen called China pen. Okay. Today, China products are useless. That is different matter. But earlier, we used to get China pen known as Hero. One of the best pens. Okay. One of the best pens everybody used to love. Like that, every product has left an indelible mark in the minds of a customer. Means you need to establish as an industry leader. Now, if you want to establish, you need to think about benchmark where you are and where you want to go. Now here there are different types of benchmarking. One is known as process benchmarking. Now what is that process benchmarking? Now comparing specific process to leading company or industry standard. Means for example, you are having process and consider the leading companies 4 or 5 or 6, maybe in one place or different place and all over India, and find where you are lacking. Now, where you might be lacking in process, maybe layout, maybe material handling, or maybe safety precautions, or maybe in automation, for example, AGV, we call it as automated guided vehicles. So, like that, you need to think where is your process. That is known as process benchmarking. Next one is financial benchmarking. Now, always financial, whenever we talk, there will be two words. One is known as surplus and deficit. So, when you will have a surplus, when your sales are good. When you will have a deficit, now when your sales are not good, your WIP is there, the work in progress is there. Most of the WIP is held up due to your wrong process planning, and empty shortage are there. What is empty shortage? A, B, C are the process. B is not running properly. Therefore, the feed material containers of B has to be returned to A. B is not working. So where it will return? Therefore, A cannot work. So like this, you will have what is called as deficit or a loss. So financial analysis comparison along with overall competitiveness and productivity. What productivity you are achieving? Now, if you ask me, in the foreign country, today we are having 99% what is known as utilization. Even Indian companies are also having 99% utilization, but 99% efficiency, what I am talking. So, do we have such facility to go for 99% efficiency? So, we need to benchmark. Okay. So, that's how we need to think about the comparing ourselves with the leaders. Performance benchmarking. Now products and services, how far you are giving service. It is not that most of the advertisements will be there that we you call us, we will do free of service. Not that type of service what I am talking. Customers should be assured with all the time extending help. Now new product, whenever you talk about a new product, there is a PLC. What is PLC? Program logical control. No, it is in electronics. PLC for me in Six Sigma is product life cycle. We need to know what is the product life cycle. Okay, every product will perish one or the other time, but there are some products that are still there. For example, Colgate toothpaste, still it is there. There are many toothpastes, Ayaram, Gayaram. Many came closed up. Okay, so many toothpaste. For example, even soaps also. Now Lifebuoy, 1970s it was a Lifebuoy with a famous bathroom song, but today Lifebuoy has come back. How? Products. You are able to give what is known as good products to customers. So that is performance. Product benchmarking. New upgrading existing products. New or upgrading existing products or services. Now totally I do not say any example. For example, in the mobiles today, every mobile is a indigenous. Some features you are having when compared to the previous one, means you are upgrading. Earlier we used to get without camera, now camera, one camera, two camera. I don't know what next it will come, what might be there. So, or a xeroxing facility in a camera, so that so many papers can be xeroxed at a time. Strategic benchmarking. Now you need to strategies. What are your market driven strategies? How do you identify the market? What is the pulse of the customer? Okay, that is what we call it as VOC, voice of customer. Functional benchmarking. Focused analysis of a single function with the aim of improving it. Now let us say you got detergent. Main function is to give washing or cleanliness, but most of the detergents they dissolve very easily. So make it hard so that it will not dissolve. It will come for a little bit long time. So that function you are improving. Competitive benchmarking. Strategies, process, product, services, all you compare. Collaborative benchmarking. Have a collaboration with you and other company by means of what we call it as MOE. Now these are the best practices. Increase the objective and scope of benchmarking, set the standards and path to be followed. The question is that whenever you have standard, are you able to reach the standard? For that you need to improve your floor, your improve material handling. You have to train the workers. That working of the labors may not be proper. Retraining may be necessary. Part mechanization you have to do. Part automation you have to do, and reduce unnecessary effort and comply with the scope. Recognize the best industry to set a benchmark. Have an MOU with the industry. Now these are all known as benchmarking. You can keep it in memory that benchmarking is a very important tool in Six Sigma. Now let us go to what is known as some of the things which I didn't do. We could not complete it in the previous example. Now one of such example is regression. Please tell me whether we have discussed regression in the previous class or not.
No, sir.
Okay. Now let me come to regression. This is one of the important tool in Six Sigma. Regression, y is equals to a plus bx. This is the straight line equation. Here you can find out y is a dependent and x is an independent. A and b are the constants. And if you want to work out the regression equations, that is, if you want to find out different values of y for different values of x, we need to solve these equations known as normal equations. Sigma y is equals to na plus b sigma x. Sigma xy is equals to a sigma x plus b sigma x square. Now two lines are there. One is on y on x, another one is on x on y. Both have to be plotted on the graph. Then we can find what is known as correlation coefficient. Now correlation coefficient value of R must be very high. Let us say above 0.85 to what is known as 0.95. It's an excellent value. Sometimes we have negative correlation also. Now this is an example I have taken. X is there, y is there. I want to develop the regression equations. What I have done, x I have multiplied with x, that is x square. Y square I have taken the product. I have summed sigma x, sigma y, sigma x square, sigma xy, sigma y square. And I am using the normal equations. I am finding what is the value of a and b. Now I got the value of a and b, therefore I am able to represent what is known as the regression equation of y on x. Similarly, we have to go for regression equation of x on y. I told you both the lines have to be drawn and both the lines have to be represented on a graph sheet. Both the lines will intersect, that is known as intersecting angle, and correlation coefficient has to be studied. Now if the correlation is good, then the conditions something like pressure and temperature like that. Let us go to non-parametric tests. Okay, non-parametric means when the given data doesn't follow normal distribution. In such cases we go for non-parametric tests. There are different non-parametric tests. One is known as Friedman non-parametric test. Now here what we are doing, let us take a simple example. Department of Public Health and Safety monitors the measures taken to clean up drinking water were effective with trihalomethanes. At 12 counties, drinking water compared before cleanup and after 1 week and after 2 weeks. And this is the data. Now we want to see whether is there any effect of this trihalomethane. Now this is extension of what we know as significance testing. Already we have discussed significance testing, and there I told you t-test, f-test, z-test and chi-square test. Now chi-square test is generally preferred when sample size is very large, but there the question is the data is normally distributed or non-normal distribution. Now these are all called non-normal distribution, means they may not follow any pattern. That's what I mean. Now here three columns have been given. The sample size is 12, and for all significance testing you have to set up an hypothesis. Let us say null hypothesis. The cleanup system had no effect of THMs. Alternative hypothesis. It depends upon you whether you have null means there is no effect. Alternate means there is effect. Something like that you can set up your own hypothesis. Only thing is, if calculated value is more than the table value, you have to select alternate hypothesis. If calculated value is less than the table value, then you have to select null hypothesis. But in some of the non-parametric tests, rules are slightly different. Okay, let us see each by one. I will be sharing this to you later on. Don't worry. And here I always tell that the significance level is what is known as 5% only. Very rare to get what is known as 1%. 99% confidence interval is very difficult. I don't know why people are not. Now what you do is, now go row by row. First row, second row, third row. Now in the first row, find out what is the small, give one rank, next small, second rank, next one, third rank. See what I have done here. 18.4 first rank, 19.2 second rank, 21.1 third rank. Similarly, go to the next one. 21.2, 22.3, 24.1. But in the next case, what is happening? Two values are same. Now first, whenever two values are same, what we do is we give rank, but we take the average rank. For example, 12.9, 12.9 are given 1 and 2 rank. What is the average? 1 plus 2, that is 3. 3 divided by 2, 1.5, 1.5. Okay. So there will not be first rank and second rank, but there will be 1.5. And next it goes to third rank. Like that, you can see that here once again 15.1, 15.1. Okay. So all the ranks you have given. Now what you do, totalize all the ranks column wise. For example, 1, 3, all 12, all are 3 except 1. So 12 3s are 36 minus 1, 35. Like that here 24. Here that is 13. Now this is the formula. Q is equals to 12 divided by nk into k plus 1. Okay. And what is that n is the sample size. You can see 12. What is k? 3 columns are there. Okay. So 3 plus 1. If you substitute, you will get Q is equals to 20.16. Now refer to the chi-square table, because these are all what we call it as the large samples, and we would like to go for this chi-square table only, and the value is, table value is 6.5. So what do you see here? The calculated value is 20.16, but the table value is 6.5. Therefore, your cal value is more than the table value. So you have to reject your null hypothesis, or you have to accept your alternate hypothesis, or you can say that the cleanup systems are affected by trihalomethanes. Okay. So this type of test is known as Friedman non-parametric test. Now, any problem can be solved by any method. So therefore, you have to find out which method you can follow. You can follow any method, no problem. Now, Kurzweil-Wallis non-parametric test. This is another test. Here in a manufacturing unit, 4 teams of operators were randomly selected and sent to 4 different facilities for machining techniques training. After the training, the supervisor conducted the exam and recorded the test scores. At 95%, again this fellow is also at 5% only. Confidence level, he is asking, do they have any significant difference? Set up null hypothesis, the distribution operator scores are same, means they do not differ. Alternate, they do differ. Okay. Now similarly, what you do in this, see here above we ranked horizontally, but here it is not like that. In Kurzweil-Wallis, what we do, we first write in the ascending order all the data. So smallest data we will find. Which is the smallest data? 51. So that is given rank as 1. Next is 52, given as rank 2. Next is 56, rank as 3. Like that you give the ranking. And then total the rank. This column, this column, this column, this column. Okay. And use the formula. and you will get what is known as 9.77, which is known as H, because it is that test which has got a letter known as H. Chi-square table at 5% level of significance at degrees of freedom 3. Okay, why 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, n minus 1. So the critical value is 7.81. Here once again you see that calculated value is more than the table value. Therefore we say that there exists difference among these facilities. Okay, you can see here at 5% whatever he has told, degrees of freedom 3, 7.815. This is the table value. Okay. Now let us go to Moore's median non-parametric test. All non-parametric tests are very important because in Six Sigma we can follow any non-parametric test. Therefore I made an attempt. It's very difficult. Why? Because textbooks they do not discuss with non-parametric tests because it is very rare. So but anyway I tried my level of best to bring you this type of examples. Now in this what we do is median. We are using a statistical parameter known as median. What he says is a major wheat supplier from Texas analyzing the yields of various crop methods. He randomly assigned two different wheat crop methods to very high number of different acres of farmland and recorded the production rate. And one more thing is that statistics in these cases has born from agricultural industry only. Especially design of experiments, which I am going to touch very shortly, has come from agricultural industry only. Okay, now method 1 and method 2. Okay, now we need to find out is there any difference. Now we need to find out or apply this Moore's median. Now what you do is first arrange in the ascending order. Okay, when you arrange in the ascending order, we will find that median, because it is an even number of terms, in even number of terms median will be average of the two middle term. So 15 plus 16, that is by 2, 15.5. Now what we are doing is median method 1 and method 2 we are taking. We are noting two things. Greater than median, how many are there? In method 1, for example, in method 1, greater than median, how many are there? And similarly in method 2. Then less than median, how many are there? We are noting down. Now you total that 8 plus 6 14, 9 plus 5 14, 14 14 is 28, horizontal totaling 9 plus 6 15, 8 plus 5 13, 15 plus 13 28. Now it looks like a perfect what is known as chi-square test. We have already seen this. If you remember that we had solved a what is called as malarial survey. The action of quinine was administered to 4628 people. Some people were with fever, some people were without fever. I don't know how many of you remember. We discussed that problem similar way, exactly in the same way. Now here what we are going to do is these are known as observed frequencies and we have to get what is known as expected frequencies. Now observed minus expected square, that is chi-square. Observed minus expected whole square by expected sum, that is known as chi-square. Now how to get the expected value? For example, 6 is there. You want to get an expected value for 6. What you do is come down. What is this value? 14. What is the horizontal value? 15. So 14 into 15 divided by 28. That's what is being done. 7.5 is 7.5. See, once you get 7.5, 14 minus 7.5, 6.5. Correct? And here the totals will remain same. Okay. And next is what you can do is see 28 is total. Similarly, go to the 8th one. How do you get 8th one? What is the total? 14 into 13 divided by 28. See, 6.5. Here is 6.5. Next is 9. How to get 9? Expected value 14 corresponding 15 divided by 28. Again 7.5. Now 5. 14 into 13 divided by 28. Okay. Like that you get what is known as expected value. Total that 14, 14. And here you get 17, 11, 28. Now apply the formula and you get calculated value as 1.29. And the table value should be seen at degrees of freedom 2 minus 1 because there are two columns, two rows at 5% level of significance. You can see here at 1 degrees of freedom, the value is 3.841. So 3.841, you see that here the calculated value is less than the table value. Therefore, what we say is the methods are not having any difference, both are same. There is no significant difference between the methods. Okay. Now go to another one, Wilcoxon four non-parametric I have taken, which are very important, not all. Wilcoxon non-parametric hypothesis test. Now here what is there? One sample. We are taking only one sample. In the above you have seen 2 sample, 3 sample, but here there is only one sample. Now what is this? A student has received in a college a random sample of 10 students. Marks are noted below. Is there any evidence that 5% of the confidence level whether the student crossed the median mark of 67? Median is used, so it is a statistical parameter. Okay. Now the null hypothesis is that the population median is 67 marks, and the alternate hypothesis it is not, means greater than 67 marks. Now what we have done, first 67 is the median. Chalo. Now all the value compare with the median. For example, 67 compared with 67. 71 compared with 67, difference 4. 79 compared with 67, 12. 40 compared with 67, minus 27. Like that, find out the difference. Okay. Now, ignoring the signs, rank the differences smallest as 1. Now, among this, forget about the sign. The smallest is 2. 2 is taken as first rank. After 2, which is the next one, 3. 3 is taken as second rank. 4 is taken as third rank. Okay. Then 5 is taken as fourth rank. After 5, I told you ignore the sign. 7 is taken as fifth rank. Like that, give the rank. Okay. Now separate positive and negative ranks. Which are negative, which are positive. Now how many are there? For example, what is the sum of positive ranks? 3, 8, 2, 9, 4, 7, 1, 6. Negative rankings 10 and 5. Okay. 10 and 5, 15. Among this, which is the smallest? 15. Now this is the statistics to be tested. Now we have to refer the table, whether the table value is above 15 or less than 15. See, you can see here. Okay. The table value is now two-tailed test, in the sense we are considering the point what is known as 0.05 on the left hand side, 0.05 on the right hand side also. Okay. So 11. So what you will find, the calculated value, that is test 15, is greater than 11. Therefore, you say that the null hypothesis is rejected, but alternate hypothesis is accepted, that all the students have scored more than 67 marks. Okay. This is how it should be done. This is similar one I don't want to discuss. I will share and you can find out. You are all smart students. Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. This is also one test like that. And find out. Now most important is ANOVA. Listen carefully, because all chemical engineering students, you have not come across this table known as ANOVA. ANOVA means analysis of variance. Now here you are concentrating on variance. What is the variance? Standard deviation square. What is the standard deviation? It is a measure of variation. And why we should consider? Because sigma itself is a variation. So therefore, we want to find out what the variations are there. Now ANOVA is known as, for example, whenever you are not able to find the test of significance. Okay, test of significance, you have failed, 1 sample, 2 sample or something like that. Now in such cases we want to go for what is known as ANOVA. Now here there are 2 types of ANOVA. One is known as one-way analysis of variance. Another one is known as two-way analysis of variance. Means 2 parameters will be there. One more 3 parameters will be there. Like that, we go on increasing the parameters. And when it becomes very large, we generally solve by design of experiments. Here, a simple one-way analysis of variance has been identified. You may ask the question, how to identify that the given situation is one-way or two-way? Very simple. Find out where is the variable at this parameter. Where is the variable parameter? Now here samples are ABC. These are varying actually. What about these things? Periods means you have repeated. You are repeated the observations. So therefore these are constant. So column is constant, but rows are different. Therefore we call this as one-way analysis of variance. If there are columns are different, rows are different, then we call it as two-way analysis of variance. Okay. You need not worry absolutely today because we have MATLAB, a software is there and Minitab is there. So answer is available very easily. But we should know the procedure. That's why we have taken a sample of ANOVA. Now here there are different methods of solving ANOVA. The nearly around I can say about 10 methods are there, but I've taken a simplest method known as taking the origin, 20 as an origin. Any number you can take, need not be 20, any number away from this. Why? Because the biggest property of ANOVA is that finally we are going to say ratio. So when you multiply or divide, add or subtract by any constant, the value of ratio is not affected. That is the biggest property of ANOVA. So to simplify our calculations, what we are doing is we are coding it so that because rather than 20 square, I can go for 1 square, 2 square like that. So I have taken here 20 as an origin and subtract everything. 20 minus 20 is 1, 21 minus 20 is plus 1, 23 minus 20 is plus 3, 16 minus 20 minus 4, 20 minus 20 again 0. So get all the values. Okay. Now total the columns and total the rows. This is the grand total. Okay. That is capital T is equals to 30. The first step in ANOVA is to calculate what is known as correction factor. The correction factor is given by T square by N. Now generally what happens, most of the trainers, commercial trainers, they will never deal with numerical examples. Okay. I don't know why, but we are academicians, so we need to deal. That's why I am dealing the concept with a numerical example so that we can understand better. So first step is to determine what is known as correction factor. T square by N, T is 30. 30 square is 900 by N. N is 15. How far 15? 5 columns into 3 rows. Okay. I got 60. Then I should go for SSQC. SS means sum of squares. Okay. SSQ means sum of squares. C, small c means columns. Now what is the column? Okay. Sum of the column between the samples. See here. Actually it should be SSQR. Okay. Not C, because you are taking 0 minus 5, 35. And minus, this is known as correction factor. And here you should note that we should never get any negative value. Okay, if you get negative value, you are wrong. We cannot proceed. Okay, negative generally we don't get. If you get, you are wrong. So all these totals, whatever you got, I have taken the square and divided by. Now you are taking the row total, no? So you should divide by columns. That's why I am dividing by 5. Okay, and minus correction factor, that is 60. 250 minus 60, I got 180. Next is sum of squares total. Total means 0 square plus minus 2 square plus 5 square, 1 square, 0 square, 8 square, like that. All the complete square of this minus correction factor. I am getting 330. Now error, SSQE means error. Error will be equal to SSQT minus SSQR. 330 minus 190, 140. Okay. Now go to this table. This table is known as analysis of variance table. Now what are the parts of the analysis of variance table? First column is known as source of variation, means which you are interested. Means here our interest is samples. What is this? Samples means rows. Is there any significant difference among the rows? Don't say columns, because here columns are what we call it as dummy, in the sense it is one way analysis. So therefore only rows we are concentrating. That's what we call it as actually not between the fabrics, actually between the samples it is. So degrees of freedom 2. Why? Because there are 3 rows are there. Always degrees of freedom will be 1. and you have taken 190. Here SSQR you have calculated 190. See 190. 190 divided by 2 is known as mean sum of square, that is 95. Okay. Similarly, you have to go to this within samples, because normally I have taken all my problems from my textbook. Now here there is a formula. Don't worry about all these things, because today there is a ready-made solutions are available. So we get 12. How do we get 12? 12 how do we get, in the sense, how many rows are there? That is 3 into 5 minus 1. Okay, 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 into 3, 12. 12 and 2, 14. Now what is the total? Total is 15. 15 minus 1. 15 minus 1 is 14. So 14 in the sense 1 is 2. What should be the other one? 12. Like that also we can calculate what is known as degrees of freedom. And this is error what you have calculated, SSQE 140. See 140 divided by 12, we get 11.67. F ratio is MSSQ by this error. 95 divided by 11.67. You got 8.14. Now you need to refer to the table at 12 degrees of freedom. Okay, generally this is known as larger variance divided by the smaller variance. So in the table we have to look at the columns and the rows. From the table we get the value as 3.88. What do you note here? Calculated value is higher than the table value. Therefore your null hypothesis is rejected, and we say that all samples are significantly different. So this is known as one-way analysis of variance. Let us go to two-way analysis of variance. Here rows and columns both are different. You can see here regions are the rows, salesmen's or the columns.
Sir, can
Yeah.
can you please repeat the degrees of freedom?
Huh? Tell me.
Test of ANOVA in the above table, sir, degrees of freedom. Can you repeat once?
Yeah, okay. See, degrees of freedom for anything will be 1 less than the items. Now, samples, how many samples are there? 3 samples are there. 3 minus 1, 2. That's why we got 2. Okay. Now, this error can be calculated by different ways. One is by formula. What is that formula? Is R into n minus 1. Okay. That is, R is 1, 2, 3. Here is you repeated 5 times. 5 minus 1, 4. 4 into 3 is 12. Either you can get to 12 like this, or what is the other method I told is, first you got 2. Okay. What is the totally number of this one? You have got capital N, 15 is there. Okay. So 15 minus 1, 14. That should be the total sum of degrees of freedom. Out of 14, you got 2. So what should be the next one? 12. Okay. So like that, we can calculate the degrees of freedom in different ways. Understood?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I think Vinay, I think. Okay. Now we go to two-way analysis of variance. Now why I am calling two-way analysis of variance? As I told you, column is one parameter, row is one parameter. So two parameters are there. In the previous case, one parameter was there. Okay. Now here what you do is row total, sum total. Okay. And here to simplify the data, I have taken 30, and similar procedure I have gone. Correction factor I have calculated. SSQC, that is column, I have calculated. SSQR I have calculated. Both I have calculated. Total sum of squares I have calculated. And finally I come to ANOVA table. See what ANOVA table I have come. Between columns, salesmen, how many salesmen are there? 4 are there. 4 minus 1, 3. Okay, degrees of freedom is 3. Okay, and between rows, that is seasons, how many seasons are there? 3. Seasons are regions, whatever you call. 3 minus 1, 2. Okay, and these are the respective totals. And residual can be found out by different ways, as I told you. Okay, so what because there are different ways, as I told you, generally Total you can see here, what is the 12, correct? That is the total number of observations. Now what should be the degrees of freedom? 11. Degrees of freedom will be 1 less than the total. Now 3 plus 2 5, so 11 minus 5 6, you can get like that. Or what is the other formula is r minus 1 into c minus 1. Here C is 4 columns, 4 minus 1 3 into r minus 1, 3 minus 1 2. So 3 into 2 6. In any way you can get this, okay? And you divide 42 divided by 3 14, 32 divided by 2 16, 136 divided by 6 22. Now you have to take the F ratio. What is that? 14 divided by 22 0, because less than 1. 16 divided by 22 again less than 1. Here you can see here the values are less than 1, but the table value is 5.14. So what we can say is calculated values are far less than the table value. Therefore neither the salesmen will differ nor the regions are differing. Why? Because here you find that both the values are less than the table value. At least if you say any one value was greater, I could have told that the columns are different or the rows are different, okay? Here the calculated value is small in both the cases, columns as well as rows, so therefore both are not significant, okay? Now this is a little bit extension of the ANOVA. I have taken slightly higher dose. Now what is this higher dose? Of course this problem you will not get in any textbook. Why? Because this is the problem which I have formed myself, only formulated. Now here you can see that some fabric details are being made in what is known as shed 1 and shed 2, and machine 1, machine 2, machine 3 in each shed, and here also machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, okay? And these are the totals. Very large data, okay? Now see, very large data also we have handled. How we have handled? What we have done? Subtotals we have done. For example, column totals 1000, 859, 995, okay? All column totals. Similarly 792, 839, 787, okay? Now here what we call it as more than one observation per cell here, okay? It is not one way or two way. It is known as more than one observations per cell. Actually you have solved one separately, two ANOVAs you have mixed, okay? Now you have to go for all these calculations one by one. What is the column total? For example here, now 1792, 1698, 1782, total is 5772, okay? And accordingly I have followed the procedure. Again I have calculated SSQT, SSQC, SSQR, okay? Sum of all squares among cells. Now 1000 square, here 1792, see 1792 plus 1698 plus 1782, the same squares, okay? I have taken. So you can see here total is 5772. See, one thing, either you total this or this, you must get correctly. That is what we call it as check. R1 plus R2 is this much, and C1 plus C2 C3 both are same. Then you have to go to correction factor. This is the total 5772 divided by 60. Now why 60? See, each 10 there are 6 are there, so totally 60. What should be degrees of freedom? 59 should be degrees of freedom. Like that you have to calculate. Now this is SSQT individually 79 square, 102 square, 112 square, 104 square, like that you can see here. So all the calculations we have done, followed what is known as per the procedure, and finally this is a large ANOVA. See, we have found out like this source of variation between the sheds, between the machines. Yes, this is known as interaction. This was missing in the earlier case. We never considered that. Why? Because we didn't had an opportunity. But this is a very important factor in our design of experiments, that what is the interaction. Let us say one we have taken pressure, okay? Fluidization bed we have taken pressure, and another is fluidization height, we can say. So the interaction we call it as pressure and the height. So such type of interaction is very essential, because Here all those sum of the squares whatever you have calculated, same as I told you, 3168 by 1 3168, 267 by 2 133, 1178 by 2 589, and this is a error. Okay, and I calculated f in all the cases. You can see here in this case f calculated is more than f table, means sheds. Basically we can say that this shed A differs from shed B. First point, that's what we are going to see. Second one, we say that f cal f tab means within a shed. Within a shed the machines are not different. That is what it is being understood here. And lastly, interaction between shed and machine is also, you can say, it is very high, means sheds are different from the machines. You can say that calculated value is more than the table value, means the interaction is strong. That's what I told you. In most of our experiments the interaction will be very high. It is very much essential that we need to note the interaction. This is known as an ANOVA with a large, what we call it as the number of observations. Next we are going to get, carefully you please listen now the lecture, because bit difficult it is to understand. Now we are going to design what is called as design of experiments. Now earlier it started from agricultural field. Let us say 1 acre land is there, that is divided into so many plots. Okay, in each plot I have used different types of fertilizers. Now I want to know whether the fertilizers are different or the plots are different, like that. Such experiments are known as design of experiments. There are different types of experiments are there. One such experiment is known as completely randomized design. All ANOVA, whatever we have discussed so far, they come into this category known as CRD, completely randomized design. You can see here we have taken what is known as 4 machines PQRS and 4 weeks. So rows are different, columns are different, and here you can see the samples. Now in each case you will find that one parameter is missing. For example, A is there, C is there, C has come twice, B is there but D is not there, and here A B C D is there, here A is not there, here C is not there. Okay, like this if you can miss, in the sense, now it all depends upon what are the values you are having and what is your end point. Okay, to know that only we have this choice, either you can go for CRD or you can go for RCBD. Now carefully understand the difference. This is known as CRD. 90% of our problems are CRD only. But if you want to go for RCBD, randomized complete block design, here you note that all factors are brought. See, A1, B1, C, D, A, B, C, D are there in each. Here they were missing. Okay, so like that we can have the combinations of the factors. If you want to say that yes, in this particular period one factor is not important, that's why I didn't do. Okay, actually we call this type of concepts as confounding. Okay, anyway, I am not going to tell you why, because it's a very deep concept of confounding, and today we have many tabs for this, but still one has to plan all these things when he start his experimentation. Okay, based on that only the experiment has to be done. Today all PhDs, whatever it is their research, they are all belonging to this category only. Okay, next go to LSD. What is meant by LSD? Latin square design. Now this is a square, that is the point to be noted, and in above cases they are rectangles. Okay, may be same, may not be same, but here it should be same. It should perfect square. Number one. Number two, what is the number two is every element will differ only once in the repeat. For example, you can see here A, D, B, C. Again A is not repeating here. Here A, B, C, D. Okay, and also what you notice that either column wise or row wise the factor is considered as 1. That facility is not seen here. You can say here A1, A3, A is repeated twice, B repeated twice. here D, C, A, luckily we don't have here, okay, and here D is repeated, okay, like that. There are difference. Here you can see what is known as A is repeated twice. So in this there is no question of repeat. Every item will come once. Such a type of design is known as Latin square design. And based upon our experiments, we can select either LSD or RCBD or RCRD. Any one we can select. And there are all these are ANOVA only. Whatever I have told in the one-way analysis and two-way analysis, similarly only we have to solve. Okay, there is no special method. Now let us take a simple example for LSD. LSD is very important for a research. Therefore, I have taken here an LSD. The following table gives cotton yields for 5 fertilizer treatments of plots arranged in a Latin square. Test for significance of column row treatment effects at 1% level. I am very happy. At least here it has been asked as 1% rather than 5% level. First, how to identify that the given problem is LSD. As I told you, compare whether the parameter is repeating in a row or a column. No. A is coming once, C is coming once, D is coming once, B as well as E. Similarly, column also. So therefore, this is perfect LSD. Okay. And what I have done, I have taken a simple method of taking the origin 35. Now, why I have already told you to simplify the calculations. Okay. Now, for example, 34 minus 35, that is minus 1. From where it is coming? C. Okay. Then 33, it is coming from B. 33 minus 35 minus 2B. 31 minus 35 minus 4A. Like that I have done. Okay. And here what I have done is, for example, yeah. Now, what is the minus and what is the plus, for example? 14 plus 1, 15, 15 and here you can say 11, 26. Okay. And minus 26 is coming. And what is the positive sign? 17 and 5. 17 and 5 is 22. So, what is the net answer? Minus 4. Okay. Like that. Now, what I have taken? Squares I have taken. 1 square, 1. 14 square, 196. 17 square, 289. Like that, the second row total, third row total, fourth row total, column wise total. Okay. I have done. And I have taken the sigma x square also. That is 106 plus 341 plus 524 plus 663 plus 150. Now, what I have done here, I have segregated all A separate, all B separate, all C separate from this table, above table. Now, for example, okay, where are there? Now, first A, come to the A, horizontal row A. What is there? Minus 14. Okay, minus 14. In the first column, where is A? Minus 4A is there. Therefore, minus 4. In the second column, where A is there? Minus 14. Minus 14. Third column, where A is there? Minus 9A. Minus 9. So, all A's are listed. In the next column, you can say minus 18A. So, minus 18. Next column, minus 10A. Minus 10. Followed? So, all A's are taken, all B's are taken, all C's are taken, and what is the total? Total here. Okay. What is the total? 18 plus 10, 28 plus 9, 37, 37 plus 14, 51 plus 4, 55. Okay. Like that, all totals. Now, totally how many samples are there? 25, because it is a 5 into 5 Latin square. And we have all formulas. Okay. If you go by formulas, if you calculate all these things and we get the Latin square, finally, what is this? Between columns, sum of squares, degrees of freedom. Now 5 are there, 5 minus 1, 4. Between rows, 5 rows are there, 5 minus 1. Treatments, between treatments. Now here also A, B, C, D, E, the total body I am talking. The total body A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So I am having 5 minus 1, 4, correct? And totally 25 are there. 25 minus 1, 24. Now what is happening? 4, 4, 4, 12. 24 minus 12. So this is 12. Like that, we can calculate what is known as degrees of freedom of error. and you calculate the F ratio. These are all obtained above. Here what you can see, 40.7 divided by 28.5, 1.428. What is the net result? Calculated value less than table value, means columns are not significant. Now what about the next one? 2.3, these also between rows not significant. And what about the between the treatments, that is A, B, C, D, E, you get a very high value 11.1. Here what is the result? Calculated value is more than the table value. Therefore, it is significant, means here your bodies A, B, C, D, E, whatever you have taken, they are completely significant difference. That is the answer of this Latin square, what we call it as design. Okay, we'll go to what is known as factorial experiment. Little bit difficult. So I started with very smallest one and I'm going with complicated one. In Six Sigma, we get all these complicated one only. Now you may not be scared. Why? Because these things will come only when you take a project, and the project what you are going to submit will not have all these things. So don't run high fever. Okay, don't be worrying. I have generally told you all these things. If you take up a project in virtual project in industry, all these things will come. Now this type of experiment is known as complete factorial experiment with 3 factors. Okay. Now in all these cases only 2 factors, but we have gone with 3 factors. What is that factor? Factor A, factor B, factor C. So when you say AB, we are going to compare AB. SS means always sum of squares. See, this is the degrees of freedom. A minus 1, B minus 1. AB will be A minus 1 into B minus 1. And this is sum of squares. Sum of squares will be always be sum of A divided by A minus 1. SSB divided by B minus 1. Now MSSA will be divided by MSS error. This is MSS error. Okay, that is what you will find. Every denominator is error. Okay, now A factor, B factor considered 2. Then introduce 3. AC, BC. Introduce all the 3 factors ABC. And sum of squares of ABC will be A minus 1, B minus 1, C minus 1. SSABC divided by A minus 1, B minus 1, C minus 1. Like this will be a very big ANOVA table. Now let us take a numerical example to understand this. A company is keen in assessing the contribution of its employees in a 0 to 10 scale in terms of value addition to its business operations. In this connection, the UG qualification, that is whether the engineering or not, sex male or female, and work experience of the employees are considered the factors. See, 3 factors are considered here. Okay, one is degree. Okay, second one is sex, third one is experience. 3 factors are there. This is a perfect factorial design of experiment. Now here you can see so much of data is there. In engineering you have male and female, others also you have male and female. That is about degree. Okay, this is called factor within a factor. Now here experience less than 3 years, these 2 rows, 3 years and above, these 2 rows. Okay, now what we are going to do? We are going to do just first find out the total experience. Here we got 41. 41 in the sense 8 plus 7, 2 plus 6, 4 plus 8, 2, 4 plus 2. Okay. Similarly, the next one 98. Now make the rows total is over. Now column totals 8, 7, 15, 15 plus 9, 24 plus 9, 33. See 33. Next 6 plus 2, 8 plus 4, 12 plus 9, 21. Like that, make the total. Okay. Now see how we are separating. Why we are separating? Because we want to know study each factor separately. Here what are the factors are considered here? Subtotals contributions employees with respect to E and D. See E and D. Now 23 we are getting. Okay. Now how we are getting 23? We need to find out now. What is that is this total. What is that total? 8 plus 7 is 15, 15 plus 2 is 16, 17, 17 plus 6 is 23. So therefore you got 23. Okay. Similarly, this total 9, 9 3s are 27 plus 4, 31. Then this total 18. This total, the next total is 26. Okay. Next, what we are going to do, we are going to have sex. Here you had degree. Here we are going to have sex. Male, less than 3 years, how many males are there? Now what you should do, 8 plus 7, 15. 15 plus 4, what is called as 19. 19 plus 8, 27. See, 27. Okay, like that. Next one. Next one, about 3 years. 9 plus 9, 18. 18 plus 7, 25 plus 8, 33. See, 33. Like that. Similarly, female. Next, what you are going to consider, the totals. You can see here totals 33, 21. See, 33, 21. 27, 17. 27, 17. Now you have to go for what is known as the subtotals. What is the subtotal? Only this total. 8 plus 7, 15. 9 plus 9, 18. Like that. See how many tables I am getting. Okay, means I am going in depth all the things. Now put all these ANOVA. Okay, it becomes such a big ANOVA. Okay, see, I have put first all between work experiences. What I thought, sum of squares I have calculated, degrees of freedom, because in everywhere 2 is there. 2 minus 1 is 1. And mean sum of squares by calculation. I have not shown all the calculation because it is not required for you. Just I have explained the table. Why? Because to find out how the concept is useful. See here, what is F calculated is 4. What is the F table value? 5.32. So what is the situation? Cal value less than the table value. Accept the null hypothesis. Means you have defined null and alternate hypothesis for each factor. Okay. And next one, the next one is again less. Next one is again less. Between sexes, male and female, what we are finding, calculated value is 7.563, but table value is 5.32. So here we are rejecting the null hypothesis. Means male and female are different. That's what the ANOVA or the factorial experiment says. Okay. In all other cases, the values are less. Okay. Now this is known as the factorial design of experiments. Now we go to another factorial experiment known as 2 square. Now what is meant by 2 and what is meant by another 2? Here the above 2, this is known as parameters, and the below 2 is known as levels. What does it mean? I have taken 2 levels. What are those levels? One is low level 0 or 1 is low level, high level 1 or 2. Like that I have taken level high and low. And how many parameters you have taken? 2. So what is 2 square? 4. So you will have totally 4 data. Okay, that is how it is diagrammatically it is represented. Okay, here I have shown you what is level 1, level 2, factor A, factor B. Okay, this is factor A, factor B. Here level low, level high, and 0 and 1, like that. Okay, and this is the model. The model is Yijk is equals to mu. What is mu? Mean of all. Ai plus Bj, Abji plus Ej. Now this is what is known as ARR. Now all these things are defined here. You need not worry. Now let us take a simple example. This example also not available in any of the textbooks. 2 square experiment. This is known as 2 to the power 4. Now why I am calling 2 to the power 4 experiment? Why? Because see how many parameters are there? A, B, C, D. So 4 parameters are there. And what is the level of each parameter? One is at low level, one is at high level. Therefore 2 stands for level and n stands for parameters. So 2 power 4. 2 power 4 means 16 data. That's why you have got 16 data here. 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay. Let us see how we are going to solve. Now this is known as A column, B column, C column, D column. First A column. A column has to be filled up with signs what is known as minus and plus. But to determine how many minus, how many plus has to be done, we have to use one formula known as 2 power k minus 1. Where k is the column, first column. 1 minus 1, 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Therefore, start with low value, that is minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So, all are like that. Go to the next column. What is the formula I told you? 2 to the power k minus 1. Now, what is k? 2 here, because it is second column. So, 2 to the power 2 minus 1, that is 2 power 1, that is 2. So, therefore, 2 minus minus 2 plus plus. 2 minus minus 2 plus plus. Like that. Next, 2 power k minus 1. Here k is 3. 3 minus 1. 2 square. 2 square means 4. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4 minus 1, 2, 3, 4 plus. Again 4 minus 4 plus. Last column, 2 to the k minus 1. That is 4 minus 1. What is that? 2 cube. 2 cube means 8. Means first 8 minus sign, next 8 positive sign. Okay, now you got all the signs. Now we need to refer the problem. How to refer the problem? See, what is the first row? Now why there are 16? 2 power 4 is 16. Okay. Now how to refer? See, minus, 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 minus horizontally. What does it mean? All factors are minus. A minus, B minus, C minus, D minus. Go to the problem where it is. Here it is A minus, then B minus, then C minus, then D minus. What is that value? 0. 0, small value. Okay. Therefore 0. Next, A plus. Where you go? A plus here. What are the other things? Minus. A plus, B minus, C minus, D minus. Kitna ho gaya? 20. 20. Okay. Next, A minus. See, A minus. Then B plus. Yes, B plus. C minus, D minus. 30. Like that. So, record all the observations. Whatever he has given, record all the observations. Now, what has to be done? The tamasha will start now. Okay. What you do is group the data into 2. This is first group. 20 plus 0. Okay. How much you are getting? 20. You are right here. Next, 30 plus 52. 22. Kitna aata hai? 52. Right here. Next, 16 plus 11. 27. So what happened? All the 16 datas are converted into 8 datas. Means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now how you should fill the remaining 8? The remaining 8 in a reverse way. What did you do? You added, no? Now you subtract from the below with the top. 20 minus 0, 20. Okay. 22 minus 30, minus 8. Okay. 16 minus 11, minus 5. 19 minus 25, minus 6. Okay. 9 minus 2, 7. 28 minus 35, minus 7. Okay. Then the next is 13 minus 23, minus 10. Lastly, 17 minus 24, minus 7. Oh, bapre. I got all the 16 values like this. Now, in the similar way, you should get second, third, fourth. Okay. Finally, what you will get? 294. This is the sum. Sum of all the values. Now, what you should do? You should go for factor effect. Now, there are formulas are there. Okay. Don't worry about this. This is factor sum of squares. Formulas are there. Now, you apply the formulas, you will get all. Now, you have to identify the factor. How to identify the factor? Locate positive sign in each row, and that is the factor. Now, there are no positive signs are there. Therefore, this factor is known as mean. 294 divided by 16, that is 18.375 is the mean. Now, go to the second row where positive is there under A. So, that's why factor A. Here positive is there under B. Therefore, factor B. Here positive is there under AB. So, factor AB. Like that, write down all the factors. Okay. Now, what you have to do? Next, you have to go to ANOVA table. See, in ANOVA table, what I have written? All single factors I have written once. 2 factors I have written once. 3 factors I have written once. 4 factors I have written once. And their sum of squares also I have written. And all degrees of freedom is 1. Why? Because all are tested in 2 levels. Okay. 2 minus 1, 1. So therefore my degrees of freedom is 1. And here what I have done is I made an assumption that more than 3 factors may not have any effect. I made an assumption. Okay. Otherwise, you will not have an error. Error should be there. Without error, we cannot go for F ratio because MSS divided by error should be there. Now here what I have done, more than 3 factors are not influencing. That is the assumption I have done. Okay. So MSS, that is 16 I am getting for A. 16 here, see, 16 divided by 1 is 16. 702 divided by 1 is 702. Okay. Now what is the next? 16 divided by this. What is this total? Okay, that we have to find out. And you will find that only among all the factors A, B, C, D, please note, single factor B is very, very, very important because calculated value is far, far, far greater than what is known as the table value. Okay. So all other factors are not at all important. Means A is not important, C is not important. Important in the sense no significance. Okay. AB, AC, AD, BC, BD, CD, ABC all are not having any significance influence. So this type of experiment is known as 2 power n experiment, and this algorithm what I have followed is known as Yates algorithm. Okay. Similarly, we have 2 power 3. I am not going to solve any problem on 2 power 3. And similarly, 3 power 3 square. What does it mean? Parameters are 2, but levels are 3. Now here, what is the another level we are adding? 0. 0, 1, 2. 0 is lowest level, 1 is medium level, 2 is higher level. Okay. So like that, the factors are there. Now this completes your design of experiments. Okay. Now let us go to our now we are almost coming to the end of our discussion. We'll also deal today with what is called one case study. Okay, analyze phase. Here now the team is armed with data. A root cause analysis has to be done. Now we know what are the tools are taken in root cause. See here, these are all the tools. Histogram we have discussed, Pareto we have discussed, time series we have discussed, scatter plot we have discussed, regression today we discussed, cause and effect diagram in yellow belt we have told you, 5Y I have told you, process mapping I have told you, test of significance I have told you, non-normal data analysis. What is this? This is nothing but your non-parametric tests. Today we have told. So all the tools we have discussed in the analyze. What you are doing? Define the performance objective, identify value, non-value added process steps, identify sources of the variation, that is root causes, and determine y is equals to f of x. Yeah, next come to improve. Now what we are doing here, DMAIC I have told you, define, okay, then measure, okay, then analyze, then improve. In that essential to have improved stage, proposed improvement should be implemented. There is an element of experimentation, but it should be tempered with good data and sound logic. Data collection is very important. I think yesterday he would have discussed about the various data collection in the measure stage. Any risks associated with the improvement should be identified. Everyone should be on the lookout for unintended consequence so that action can be taken. So all these are theory. Why? Everything is theory. Now this is important for us. What you are going to do? Brainstorming we have discussed. Mistake or proofing. Design of experiment just now we discussed. Puff matrix already it is in QFD we have discussed. FMEA we have discussed, but PFMEA you have not discussed. We will be discussing today. So all these are the tools of what we call it as improve phase. Okay. Now this is the puff matrix, already you know it. How to create, no, not required. Now elements of control stage, we are coming to the last stage. In control stage, statistical process control, we got this control charts we have already discussed. And this is the final control stage. Final step of DMAIC cycle is control. It is an essential piece of the equation that is often missing when improvement work occurs without structure. Control is about making sure that successful improvements don't degrade over time. The whole question is that don't go for offline quality control, go for online quality control. That is the concept. Now these are the tools. Process sigma calculation, you people have done already. For example, for a given situation, is it a 2 sigma or a 3 sigma, like that? Control charts we have discussed in depth. Cost saving calculations I am not doing because that is a for project. And let us go to the why you should use DMAIC. DMAIC is a very popular one, and most of the cases we use DMAIC only. And possible unintended outcomes have been identified and mitigation plans have been developed. All these are theory you can follow. Now these are the various Six Sigma methodologies. One is, are you interested in defect reduction, or are you interested in cycle time reduction? So based on that, we have the concepts CFPM, DSS, DMAIC. This is the one which we dealt in depth. Okay. Now DFSS, what is meant by DFSS? This is called Design for Six Sigma, we call it as. Here we use the tools as QFD, FMEA. Okay, these are the two tools, both you have learnt already. Now what is when we are using DFSS? One is in the case of product service or process or the product service. Now what is meant by product or service? Design a new product or redesign the existing one. Now what about the process? Design a new process or redesign the existing one. Now this is known as DFSS. Now what are the components of DFSS? You can see components of DFSS are IDO and DMA-DV. IDO in the sense identify the customer needs, design alternative concepts, optimize by calculating the tolerance, and V is verifying. DMA-DV define customer requirements. If there are tools are there already, we have discussed CPOC, for example, measure stage, performance of customer requirements, data collection. Here data analysis, root cause analysis, fishbone diagram, and design and improvement of the new process, verify the process. So IDO and DMA-DV. Now what are the differences? It can be used to design a new product. Here it can be used to design either a new or existing product. A new process is designed. Here an existing process is redesigned. Here the design step follows identification of customer requirements. Here the design stage comes only after defining requirements and analyzing the existing product. So lot of differences are there between the two. Now what are the tools of DFSS? Tools are QFD. I don't want to go in TFD because all of you have submitted the assignment. We know quality function deployment is a very useful tool to understand, and FIMA is also another useful tool. You people have been taught, and just to go for basics, failure modes, effects analysis. What are the failure modes of the product or service? Prioritize them. Possible effects of failures on the customers and critical areas on the system. A drawback of FIMA is that although it helps focus attention on critical areas in a system, it does not give solutions to identified problem. That is the biggest drawback. Okay, now what is meant by process failure mode analysis? You have not done that, I am taking. Okay, and here design failure mode effect analysis. DFEMA, PFEMA. PFEMA used for new or existing process to uncover potential failures. Here used in the design of a new product or uncover potential failures. Is done in the quality planning phase to act as an aid during production, aimed at identifying the failure mode effects. Both are different. Involves fabrication, assembly, transaction or services. Is done before product is sent to manufacturing. Both are important. Now in PIMA, what is known as RPN is a very important factor. What is RPN? Risk priority number. Now in your project, what you are going to do, this should be included. Okay, RPN must be there in your project. Now let us see how to assess RPN. Assessing risks helps identify critical failures. Higher RPN, higher the priority the product or process receives. RPN is calculated by severity rate, occurrence rate, detection rate. What is that? SOD, SOD. That is given by RPN is equals to severity multiplied by occurrence multiplied by detectability. How do you interpret? Scale on 1 to 10. And this is a FIMA table which helps in planning improvement initiatives by underlining why and how failure modes occur and plan for their prevention. FIMA is applied on the output of root cause analysis. It is a better tool of focus of prioritization. It does not need data. FIMA table is very useful as there might not be such data available to the problem solving team. Now this is the table beautifully. Please understand this how exactly we have taken. The FEMA table helps in planning improvement initiatives by underlining why and how failure modes occur and plan for their prevention. Now process step. The question is what is the process step? Key process input. What is the key process input? Potential failure mode. In what ways does the key input go wrong? Potential failure effect. What is the impact on the key output variable? That is customer requirements on internal requirements. SEV, severity, I told you. SEV means severity. How severity will affect how severe is the effect on the customer. Potential causes. What are the causes of key input to go wrong? Occurrence. OCC means occurrence. How often does the cause FM occur? Current control. What are the existing controls? Now determination, that is how well can you detect cause or FM. RPN you have to calculate. Now let me take a numerical example to tell you how to calculate these things. Now I am telling severity, how to calculate severity. First, what is severity? Severity is a measure of how critical the failure mode is to the customer or the process. The severity is assessed on the rater of 1 to 10. Higher the 10, higher the value, higher is the severity. A team is working on a FIMA. A radioactive plant may insert fatal as the effect with rating 10. In the severity table for sports team, the team manager wants to rate the severity of failure of team in an upcoming game. She might rate it as 9 given that the team would lose a big sponsorship should they face defeat, which could be in turn hazardous to the team's failure, like that. Now these are all the various rating. What is hazardous without warning, hazardous with warning, what is very high, what is moderate, what is low, very low, minor, very minor, none. Like that we are giving the rating. Highest is 10. It comes down. Severity is given like this. Next is occurrence. I told you SOD. SOD. S is over. Now O. Occurrence. Occurrence is also rated 1 to 10. Higher the occurrence of failure, higher is the rating. The table might vary depending on the industry and scenario. Based on the past data, probability of occurrence or failure can be rated. See now how we are rating occurrence. Very high means failure is almost inevitable due to the cause. What is that? Greater than 1 in 2. Very, very, very danger. Means if you take two process, in one of the process you are going to get failure. What is the rating? 10. Or 1 in 3 rating is 9. High repeated failures due to this cause 1 in 8. See slowly this number is increasing. Okay, 1 in 3, earlier it was 1 in 2, 1 in 3, 1 in 8, 1 in 20, 1 in 80. Slowly this number is increasing, and 1 in what is called as very big number. So therefore I have given what is called as rating as 1. Now this is also another rating as detection. How we are detecting? Absolute uncertainty means design process control cannot detect the potential cause mechanism of subsequent failure. See, sometimes this will be the reason you cannot identify. Now what is this? This is what is known as the chance causes of your control chart. That is called uncertainty. Very remote, remote, very low, low. These are the various chances of identifying the detection, and these are the rankings. Now this is a beautiful table. I think I have to go back. Why? Because the table is yeah, you have to manage with this. I cannot go with full now here what is that? For the process of withdrawing cash from ATM, The bank wants to recognize and prioritize the risks involved. A beautiful example. Okay, how the bank has constructed this FEMA table. See, first process or product characteristics, cash withdrawal, that is the process. What is the potential failure? Customer account debited but not cash paid. Very nice problem. This generally happens. Potential effects of failure: extremely unhappy. The customer is unhappy. Why? Because the amount is debited, but he is not getting the cash. Now here we'll find out what is this is S, severity S. This is occurrence. This is detection. Okay. Now potential causes of failure. What is the causes of failure? Non-availability of ATM. Okay. Occurrence 7 times it has occurred. Network issue 5 times it has occurred. What is the current design? Set minimum limit for warning. 2 times it has been detected. None 9 times. What is RPN? See, 9 into 7 into 2, 126. 9 into 5 into 9, 405. Now what is the recommended action? Increase the set limit for regularity or often used ATM. Now whose responsibility it is? Management. What is the action taken? Minimum limit increased. Now what is the severity? 9. It is from 9 to 9 only. Okay. Next, increase the network limit. What is technical management? Increase limit and have load balancing. Now occurrence has come to 4. Okay. Occurrence here it is 2. So last time it was 5. It is 2. Here it is 7. It is 4. Now detection 2, 1. And lastly 9, 3. So much improvement is there. 9 into 4 into 1, 36. 9 into 2 into 3. Okay. 54. Like that, there is lot of improvement after studying what is called as FMEA. A simple case. See, a simple bank has done this example. So why we cannot do? Okay. This completes what is known as the discussion on the green belt and black belt. I am going to give you a small case study. Uh, Let us see the case study. What is this case study? This case study is rework reduction case study. Of course, I have taken from some. Now, this is the project charter. We have already defined in yellow belt. What is the project charter? Okay, I'll be sharing with you. You can. Some music is being played. Somewhere, some disturbance is coming. Yeah. So this is the project charter. The problem statement is there, goal statement is there, process is there, CTQs are there. These are the leaks, and baseline is there, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Benefits: tangible 60 lakh per annum, intangible knowledge, DMAIC, paradigm shift on data analysis, team building. This is project charter. Now this is SIPOC. Okay. Now various aspects of SIPOC is written. This is CTQ. Internal leak, piston travel, external leak, auto function. CTQ description. We are giving the specification. What is Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4? This is process map. How exactly, this is also known as flow chart. How exactly everything is being done. Measure phase. What does the quotation says is old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once, means accuracy. Now here you can see FMEA. That's what just now I told you. You can see here severity, occurrence, detection. Okay. And what has been done using FEMA. And key clearances. These are all the key clearances. Data collection plan. Okay. What is the data type? How you are collecting? Who is collecting? And the segmentation criteria. Now this is the MSA, measurement analysis, system analysis. Here gauge R and R. We have already studied this gauge R and R, and Minitab has analyzed gauge R and R. So different gauge R and R has been taken. One is for bore gauge. Then normality test, this is called as probability chart. Okay, here how many points are lying above or below or outside, and this is internal leak. Here process capability will be there. What is the lowest specification limit, what is the upper specification limit, how the process is concentrated. Again we are drawing for normalities test y1 y2 and baseline attribute CTQs, number of units, defects, opportunities, FTY, first time yield. FTY means first time yield. RTY means rolling, we can roll time yield. We have already calculated all these things. DPMO has been calculated here, and the sigma level at now is 3.2. Now they are applying the concepts of Six Sigma. Now this is analyze phase. Analyze phase, they have used cause and effect diagram. And this is priority matrix. High or median or low. And this is the data collection plan for the project. This is Pareto analysis. Now ANOVA, operator versus internal leak. ANOVA has given the result. ANOVA result. See, what is that? P value. Okay, P value is 0.896. And this is the data collection for key process identification variables. This is who is doing, and cylinder piston, bell crank bolt. What is the process capabilities? Okay. Now this is root cause analysis. Funneling cases. Okay. How many are there? See, DOE, ANOVA, capability studies, Pareto analysis. It has given all on less than 30 only. All tools. Validation of root cause analysis. This is by normality test. Normality curve. And chi-square test. Validation of root causes. And here we find p value 0.002. It is less than 0.5. Therefore, the significance is there. Null hypothesis is rejected. Accept the alternate hypothesis. Root causes. What are the root causes? Bell crank assembly, compression strength of spring, moisture. And this is FEMA again. Okay. And we have calculated what is known as RPN. This priority number. Root causes versus solutions. Solution matrix. Okay, this is puff matrix, what is called as matrix 2, matrix 3. Cost benefit analysis. These are the cost involvements. And corrective action, who was responsible and what was the thing done. And this is the concepts: piloting, implementation plan, which date to which date, control plan, what were the various stages of the control, and after the implementing plan, how did the graph improve. See, this is a beautiful chart that there is no point going beyond in the control chart. All or everything within the limits. So what is the final sigma level? Before it was 3.1. See, after it is 4.7. A lot of improvement is there after applying Six Sigma. What is the saving? Approximately 65.5 lakh against 60 lakhs. Okay. So this is what is called as a simple case study analysis. And I have done my level best to complete the Six Sigma. This was the class which was scheduled from long time, and I tried my level best to teach you. I hope that tomorrow you please take up some projects, and when you go to the industry, you find that whatever the knowledge you have been given will be useful. See that it is applied and show your quality, and get more salary and identify yourself. Industry is not like a college. In college, your professor, your teacher will be helpful. Industry expects you to grow on yourself. Industry recognizes your inputs. So individual development is possible in the industry, but hard work is necessary. Don't say that I hardly work. Lot of differences are there between hardly adjective and hard verb. Okay. I feel that whatever I have given as a layman, I am not a big person like big professors of UIT Mumbai, okay, or UDCT Mumbai or IIT Kanpur, Kharagpur. I am not such a big professor. A very small person with a very, very little knowledge. I tried my level best to share, and I am a statistics man, therefore, I spent a lot of time in giving a lot of examples. So, I wish you all the best and hope that the IICHE, I once again express my sincere thanks to Mr. Dhaval Saxena ji, Mr. Nilinge, and other people for giving me an opportunity. Thank you very much. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can close. And it was a very nice period for me. It started from May and we went up to September. A small effort was done by me. Hope that it will give you big dividends in your life. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for listening to me all the time. A very small fellow with a very little knowledge. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
it is over. Because we may not meet again. So I wish all the best in your lives.
thank
Uh,
you, sir.
if
Can I ask you a
Yeah,
doubt?
yeah. Please tell me, Mr. VK.
Sir, in the machine in the shed sum, why didn't we go for shifting the origin? Like we are dealing with the numbers which are above thousand, right?
Hmm.
Can we shift
I
the
did. I
origin?
did. Can you shift the origin? Origin, yeah.
Yes,
Now
sir.
the question is that why do you want to shift the origin? Because if you find more number of defectives are there. Now, why more number of defectives are there? Your process specification limits and the process capability, upper control, lower control. There should be some relation. Let us say your process is giving 18, but the specification is 19. So naturally, the rejections will be more. So we need to shift our process so that the number of defectives will be less. Okay, that is called shifting the origin. Now, if you have defectives, now the question is, can you rework it? Or you have to declare it as a waste, or you have to declare it as a scrap. So we need to reduce all these things, either rework or scrap. This is only possible by reducing the defectives. How? You have to find out the specification limits and the control limits. So move the origin either towards higher side or a lower side. So that means how it is possible, you have to set your machine settings, speeds, okay, the input feed ratio, something like that we have to change. Then only the characteristic average of the product will be seen, and always we must see that the rejections must be as low as possible. Otherwise you are not going to achieve the Six Sigma.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And also,
Welcome.
I think significant difference between online and offline quality control.
Yeah. What is the difference? Very simple. In online, what happens? We have sensors. Okay, the sensors will be finding out what is the let us say I'm manufacturing a steel wire, and the controlling is blast furnace, something like that. Now, if the thickness is varying, let me control the parameters in the blast furnace so that the melt which is coming out is under control. This is known as online quality control. Means the sensors should be used properly. We call them as transducers. Okay, now offline quality control, the product has been produced already, then you are telling that it is a defective, so it is a waste. So therefore, earlier about 30 years back we used to practice offline quality control only, but today we have online quality control because of due to virtual instrumentation. We have lot of instrumentational facility which can detect the things. One such elements are called auto levelers. So these are the auto levelers, as the name itself indicates. We have got closed loop and open loop. So this is from the instrumentation techniques. We'll be in a position to attach the process parameter like machine speed or temperature or etc. So today we are following online quality control only, not offline quality control. Okay.
Okay, sir. Got
Online
it.
quality
Thank you.
control is only better. Why? Because your defectives are less. Yeah.
Yes, anyone has any more doubts?
Yeah. Any doubts are there? Because it is very nice to see you. Again, we may not meet. Mr. Salil Narvekar. Any questions?
Salil is not there, sir, today.
Salil is not there, but still SN is there.
Yes.
I thought SN means Salil Narvekar.
Sir, it's mine, sir. My name.
Okay, ma. Okay, okay. No problem.
Okay.
So,
Anyhow,
any
yes.
other doubts?
Last question now.
Anybody would like to ask questions? I will share with my PDF and handouts. Please go through and understand well. Okay. So thank you very much for giving me a long opportunity, and sorry for delaying you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Nikhil.
Yes, sir. I thank you on behalf of all and ISCH team for your continuous support and your working very well. And you are saying that you won't be able to be reached again.
Your voice is not clear.
I think I'm facing some network.
Okay, okay, no issue, no issue. Most of my college students are here. I am very happy to see all of you. Sadhana, Pranita, Kishore, Vajral Vinay Kumar, Bala Yogesh. Really, it was a fantastic time for me to share my little knowledge with all of you young budding technological engineers who are the now Bharat. You people are all called now Bharat because you are going to build India. Shall we close, Mr. Nilange?
Yes, sir, we can close if no one has doubt. Okay, sir. Thank you for your
Okay.
support, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Nisha, Trishita,
Yes, sir.
you have anything to say? Or should we close?
Yes, sir. Everyone is left.
Okay. So you have no doubt, nothing, na? We can close.
Yes, sir.